Welcome, Taurus. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your full moon in Pisces lunar eclipse reading. This lunar eclipse of the full moon in Pisces is on the 7th of this month, and lunar eclipses naturally focus on the moon. The full moon is the opposition of the sun to the moon, and it is in our moon energies that we bring our past to our present. That can mean anything from recent or immediate past experiences that we're still digesting and processing, or it can actually be past life experiences. But your moon sign is key in that regard. And for many of you, it is your moon in Taurus that is going to be the place where, not your moon in Taurus, your moon sign, whatever that is going to be most relevant for these readings. So I always look for my sun, moon, and rising signs as basic placements, but you're encouraged to check into any placement that calls you. So for Taurus, the emphasis here is on your higher work for humankind, activities and associations that you believe improve upon the world we all share. I am going to pull a sacred geometry card to get started. And I pulled Metatron Circle, and I will read the keywords here. There's nothing real in life that isn't more real for being beautifully described. Metatron's cube. Nothing real in life that isn't more real for being beautifully described. So this is really, to me, highlighting your rulership of Venus, the planet of beauty, of harmony, of balance, of precision, of bringing harmony, bringing those qualities into your environment, valuing that as a principle of life, a principle that is valued in terms of bringing comfort and security into your life. The overall energy for this reading is the Three of Wands, which is describing work that you're doing, getting together with others. So it looks as though you are establishing or joining perhaps some groups or activities around these things that you feel create a better, more positive and expansive environment or opportunity for you. This can be anything from being part of a study group, a book club, a knitting club, a opera viewing club, whatever you do, and many other opportunities. Perhaps it isn't just you and friends getting together to do things or meeting people that share activities you like, but it's also ways in which you have an opportunity to share something you know with others. This helps expand your contacts, your networks, and therefore your opportunities for growth. And underneath the Six of Wands, this is lovely. It shows that you're actually pretty active in some kind of a group, a team, or a collaboration in which you take your part very seriously. As a result of doing your part well, you receive a lot of recognition from the very people that you are learning from and with, that you're doing this thing with. This isn't just enjoyment focus. This is also on the way that you work with others. It looks like you're working in a team with others, and you are being recognized and rewarded by those that you work with, which is what brings real value to you. In the present, we have the Judgment card. This feels like you making a decision about a very important relationship or opportunity in your life. There feels like a second chance, a do-over, a renewal. You have a chance to redeem perhaps a relationship that struggled, that was challenging, that was important, that was compelling. Someone with whom you had a very deep soul bond, but it may have been rocky or never reached a place of enjoyment or stability. You have an opportunity to redeem that, to improve on that, to make that better in some way, to agree, to disagree, to forgive, to forget, to separate with love, to surrender to the experience and recognize that it was in your life for an important reason. In the past, the Temperance card. I feel like you've been preparing for this opportunity in a long time. This can be preparation for relating, interacting with your significant loved ones in a healthier way, in a way that makes you not feel depleted or not feel as though you have to take control in order to be safe. Part of the energy of this lunar eclipse, this full moon in Pisces, is the idea that we stop expecting things, expecting outcomes. It's okay to have a vision of what you hope will be the outcome, to plan for success. But as you are increasingly in alignment on the daily with those activities, those routines and habits that you know support your best effort, support the best experience you can have, you need less and less to control what others are doing or the experience, because you're trusting more in yourself. You're trusting that whatever comes up, you can adjust and pivot as needed. And it may take you maybe not to the place you thought you'd go, but to an equally wonderful place, maybe even a much better place than what you had plotted and planned to achieve. So this is not saying release ambitions by any means. It's simply saying that proceed along the basis of knowing that you can move, navigate, flex with the flow, that you welcome the flow because you trust your ability to discriminate between those things that work for you and those things that don't. And that includes relationships. In the future, the Star card, this is quite a spread here. You are experiencing some beautiful glow-ups here. And it's interesting that what I'm seeing emerge here is an opportunity for you to establish your own North Star, to pursue your own vision, something that doesn't feel as though it was as possible in the past through your relationships. I feel like you worked within the realm of your familial or working relationships in a way that felt like you were always being tested, always being weighted or freighted down with opportunities. And now that you've learned to work within a collective, a group, on a team as part of a community, you are freed up from the need to control what you're doing, to have such a tight control on others. And this is leading to your ability to recognize that you have dreams, you have untapped potential that you have neglected perhaps as a result of your tending to the needs of others, fulfilling the expectations of others, or imposing your expectations on others and being frustrated. If this reading is resonating with you, Please like this video. Please subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. Share this video if you think it would be useful to others. And I welcome your comments. I totally love your appreciations, and thank you for spending time with me now. I'm going to clarify the judgment in the present with the Seven of Pentacles and the Hierophant. Excuse me. The Hierophant is really about your commitment. How interesting. So I see a real phenomenal change occurring for many of you that are revisiting, reconnecting with significant loved ones or in important relationships with your life, trying to recognize the presence of sometimes challenging relationships in order to help you take stock of your own life, your own attitudes, and your own actions. I think it's been hard for you to cordon off your needs or your desires as you feel yourself connected up with others who aren't pulling on your behalf. They're not working in the direction that you feel you should be working towards. And so in that way, I feel like you've come to understand that really understanding yourself and your needs is something you are more deeply committed to. You're more committed to learning about, exploring, discovering who you are, and being responsible to that in a way that is not judgmental of others, that is not critical, that is not shaming or blaming others. And this is something that is particular to this full moon lunar eclipse, is this idea that we are embracing a kind of humility. That humility means we release all the expectations, the shoulds, the ideas, external ideas that someone else has dictated or structured about what we should do and what we should have. And this is huge because it does increase the responsibility for each of us to understand what duties and obligations we're taking on. Are they really appropriate to us? Are those that we're working with on the same page? And the commitment and the trust in yourself that you can learn and grow in any situation, and that you're recognizing particularly the things that have been really hard for you are things that you have similarly valued. You value them now for what they've shown you and taught you about yourself. In the past, the Temperance card is clarified by the King of Swords and the Five of Swords. Yeah. There is a lot of control issues that you have really, really worked through hard. And Taurus, you are the bull. You are a fixed sign. You like to be stable and secure. You may be uncomfortable with changes that you experience. You may not like change, but you have recognized that your resistance, your need or desire to control what others are doing is really about a lack of faith and belief you have in yourself. So this is in the past. This is showing me a lifelong healing pattern in which the way you direct your instructions or desires towards others is really reflecting back on your sense of not enoughness. And this, I might say, is coming up for a lot of us. It's interesting that the more aligned we become with our right values, our authentic expressions, the more easily it feels like the challenges start emerging. And in part, that is because you've become more aware and more appreciative of what you've learned from things that were hard or difficult. And that was absolutely not your consciousness in the past. You felt that there were external blocks and uh, um, obstacles to what it is you wanted, what it is you thought should be done. And you have begun to loosen up on that, to recognize the projections in the form of criticisms or shaming others for not doing what you think they should do, or blaming others for difficulties you've experienced, is really just a reflection of your lack of faith and belief in yourself. In the future, this beautiful star card, your North Star, is clarified by the Devil and the Seven of Cups. You know, I have to say this deck of cards is specifically titled Shadow Work. So the images are a bit gruesome in some cases. And the only reason I'm using them, apart from the fact that they're beautifully painted, is that I believe there is a valuable message in the ghoulish or ghostly images that are portrayed as individuals on these cards, showing us that who we think we are, how we think we appear to the world, how we actually gain the courage to look at those aspects of our own behaviors, our own actions, our own words and patterns that are not serving us, is the willingness, the courage, the bravery to face who we really are underneath, why we get triggered, why certain things or people make us mad. It's because those are aspects of ourselves that we're not comfortable with, that we are still invested in a way that doesn't allow us to give structure and hope. So it's interesting that in the future, we have the very ghoulish devil overlapping this beautiful child with an open urn, flowing water, following the North Star, an angelic halo. This is really about how you are giving structure, finally giving structure to what it is you want. The Seven of Cups is indicating that you have a lot of options, many options. So there are many ways that anything that you're fixated on could evolve. And instead of looking at what others are doing, are moving towards, perhaps analyzing, overthinking others' dreams, or even overthinking your own ideal or vision of joy, of a better world, you're actually putting your passion into that. You're structuring your passion so that you're creating steps that are all about you feeling good and not being distracted by all of the things that would seem to support you. And by things, I mean the nice house, the nice car, the beautiful spouse, or the handsome spouse, or the perks of success. And there's nothing wrong with the perks of success, but you now understand that the goal is not about getting the perks. The goal is about improving upon the world, the community, your family in some tangible way. Even if it's not something that is immediately achievable, working towards it is healing, is restating. It's a statement about your faith in yourself and in the world, the potential that people have positively to work together for something better. I'm going to finish up this reading with a Yogic Path Oracle. And I have pulled Parvati, and I will read that from the guidebook. And Parvati is so that's the post person with their cell phone on their favorite TV show. I don't know if you heard that, but it's sort of endearing to me now. Parvati is the goddess of devotion, love, and yoga. You pull upon Parvati when you've taken immense action towards becoming your highest self. In Hindu mythology, Parvati was in love with unattainable Shiva, who was deep in the mountains practicing yoga and detached from the material world. She knew he needed the feminine to bring him down to earth, but he was totally inaccessible. Instead of begging and pleading, pursuing, Parvati decided to become her highest self and seek enlightenment through yoga. Her family objected, saying women cannot become yogis, but she headed to the mountains anyway, where she stood in a frigid stream balancing on one leg for uncountable months or years. Eventually, Shiva felt her immense energy and fell in love with her because of her strength and determination. Parvati represents commitment in practice, unbreakable willpower, and the power of self-transformation. Continue your journey towards enlightenment. So perfect for you, Taurus. If you've enjoyed this content, there's more content here for you to check out. Thank you for your likes and subscribes. Until next time, namaste.